Ukraine hoped to launch punitive counterattacks against the invading Russian troops. Experts explain why this addition did not meet expectations. Kiev. Ukraine. Alla says her husband is killing Russian soldiers as if they were playing human Tetris, referring to the Soviet puzzle video game. A drone is hanging in the sky and he's watching them crawl through the jungle. She told Al Jazeera. And it kills them. Then they crawl again. The war in Ukraine has turned Avdiivka, where Alla's husband was stationed, into a labyrinth ruins. Trenches, tunnels. It is surrounded by burnt fields, patches of forest littered with landmines, explosion craters, the remains Russian soldiers' armored vehicles. Avdiivka is located deep in occupied territory, 20 kilometers north of separatist Donetsk. Ukraine has been organizing this since 2014, but the area remains virtually surrounded and Ukrainian forces may be forced to abandon it after weeks of ardment with 500 kilograms floating and storms that have killed thousands on both sides. The surrender could mark the solemn and somber end to this year's counteroffensive campaign, which began in June along the 1,000 km long crescent-shaped front line in eastern and southern Ukraine. Last year, Ukrainian forces liberated about 75,000 square kilometers, an area size of United Arab Emirates, according to Institute for Study of War, a think tank in Washington, D.C. Kiev had said that it wanted to reach Sea of Azov to cut the land bridge between Russian mainland and annexed Crimea, but Russian forces spent months building defensive lines and placing thousands of mines in no man's land. They also manipulate the air radio waves with radio jamming systems that paralyze and disorient aircraft. Lancet kamikaze drones. Ukrainian unmanned vehicles. Meanwhile, it is stated that the F-16 warplanes that the West has promised to supply will take months to arrive, and future pilots will spend more months for training. So far this year, Kiev has lost about 487 square kilometers, according to a calculation published by the New York Times in late September. Russia looks stronger and has the manpower advantage. Military analysts say the results were disappointing due to several factors. He blamed Western allies for months-long delays in arms supplies and reluctance to supply more advanced weapons. Weapons should be supplied on time, not like our allies do, he said. Ukrainian generals made a request for specific weapons a year ago, but they still have not even supplied the agreed-upon types of weapons. Senior Ukrainian officials have long complained about delays that Western officials say are due to logistical obstacles. Meanwhile, the war turned into a positional war similar to the First World War, which exhausted both sides in terms of manpower and economy. This is not our war because Russia appears to be stronger in terms of resources and economy and has a fourfold advantage in terms of manpower. Romanenko said. Russia's population is